Ivan and the Firebird. Once there lived a mighty Tsar who had in his service a brave young huntsman named Ivan, the owner of a magic talking horse. One day, when Ivan was riding through the forest, he spied a golden feather shining like a flame lying on the path. It was a feather from the Firebird. "Leave that feather alone," said Ivan's horse. "If you pick it up, you'll pick up trouble with it." But Ivan was not afraid of trouble, so he picked up the feather and gave it to the Tsar. "This feather is so lovely," the Tsar declared, "that I must have the whole bird. If I can't have the Firebird, you shall lose your head." Ivan went to his horse and wept bitter tears. The horse said, "I told you so. But don't cry yet. The real trouble is still to come. Go to the Tsar and ask to have 100 sacks of corn scattered over a field." Ivan did so, and the next day at dawn he rode out to the field and hid behind a tree. As the sun rose, he heard a rustling like the waves of the sea. It was the Firebird's wings. As it alighted on the corn, the horse came forward and stepped on its wing. Ivan bound it tightly with cords and brought it to the Tsar. The Tsar was delighted with this gift and made Ivan a nobleman. But then he said, "Since you were so clever at catching the Firebird, you shall fetch me a bride. Beyond 3 times 9 lands, at the edge of the world, lives the Princess Vasilisa. Bring her to me, and I will make you rich. Fail, and you will lose your head." Ivan went back to the horse, weeping bitter tears. The horse said, "I told you so. But don't cry yet. The real trouble is still to come. Go to the king and ask him for a tent with a golden roof and provisions for the journey." After that, Ivan mounted his magic horse and rode off across 3 times 9 lands to the edge of the world, where the red sun rises in flames from the deep blue sea. He stopped on the golden sand and looked out to sea. There he saw the Princess Vasilisa rowing a silver boat with golden oars. Where the grasslands met the sand, Ivan set up his golden-roofed tent, laid out a feast from the wonderful provisions the Tsar had given him, and settled down to wait for the princess. When Princess Vasilisa saw the golden roof of the tent, she rowed toward the shore. As she stepped from her boat, Ivan said, "Welcome! Please be my guest and taste the fine wines I have brought from foreign lands." The princess entered the tent, and soon she and Ivan were deep in talk and laughter as they ate and drank the Tsar's wonderful food and wine. After a while she became sleepy. As soon as she had fallen asleep, Ivan folded up the tent, mounted the magic horse, and with the sleeping princess lying across the saddle, set off for home like an arrow shot from a bow. The Tsar was overjoyed to see the princess. He rewarded Ivan with gold and silver and made him even more noble than before. But when Princess Vasilisa woke and found that she was pledged in marriage to the wicked old Tsar, she was grief-stricken. Nothing the Tsar could say would bring back her smile. She said, "I will never marry except in my wedding gown, and that is hidden beneath a stone in the middle of the deep blue sea." The Tsar said to Ivan, "Fetch the Princess Vasilisa's wedding gown, or you shall lose your head." Ivan went to his horse and wept bitter tears. The horse said, "I told you so, but don't cry yet. The real trouble is still to come. Climb up and I will take you to the sea." When they reached the sea, the horse stepped on a huge crab that was crawling out of the ocean. The crab said, "Spare me, please. I will do whatever you want." Ivan said, "Fetch me the wedding gown of Princess Vasilisa, which is underneath a stone in the middle of the deep blue sea." The crab gave a harsh cry, and the sea began to heave. From from it crawled thousands of crabs, ready to do their king's bidding. He set them down into the depths of the ocean. In an hour they returned with the princess's wedding gown. Ivan brought the gown to the Tsar, who said, "Now, Princess Vasilisa, will you marry me?" "I will only marry you," said the princess, "if you order Ivan to jump into a vat of boiling water." The Tsar was so eager to marry the princess that, despite everything Ivan had done for him, he ordered a cauldron of water to be set over a fire and brought to the boil. And when it was boiling, he ordered it to be brought forward. "This is the trouble my horse warned me of," thought Ivan. "If only I had listened to him." Then Ivan said to the Tsar, "Please let me say farewell to my faithful horse." The Tsar nodded, and Ivan went to the magic horse and flung his arms around its neck. "Why are you crying?" asked the horse. "The Tsar wants me to be boiled alive," wept Ivan. "Do not cry yet. There are worse troubles than this," said the horse. And it wove a spell of protection over Ivan, so that the water would not harm him. In fact, when Ivan was thrown into the boiling water, he came out stronger and more handsome than ever. When the Tsar saw what a power of good the water had done Ivan, he thought, "If I get into the cauldron, I will become young and strong again." So he jumped into the water and boiled to death. Ivan was crowned Tsar in his place, married Princess Vasilisa, and they lived happily ever after. The end.
Is there a movie we used to watch?